Good morning, students. We have gathered here for a new class of political science from your textbook, Democratic Politics. Chapter name is Federalism. As we have already completed the first chapter, which was power sharing, you know well that for a democracy to be called a democracy, it needs to share its power between different units. It can be horizontal power sharing, it can be vertical power sharing. Power should be shared between different organs of government, between different levels of government, and also between different social communities. And we had also seen that if we do not share power, then it can lead to situations like Sri Lanka, where it took the shape of civil war. So in this chapter, our focus is vertical power sharing. It is a form of power sharing in which the power is shared between three or two or more levels of government. There can be central government, there can be state government, there can be local or community government. Like in the case of Belgium, we had studied that they had central government, then they had also state government, and they had community government to govern the different communities that were living in Belgium. So federalism is basically sharing of power between different levels of government. So we will obviously see that how a federal government is different from other form of government. We'll also explore whether Indian democracy is a federal democracy and what makes India a federal country. So let's move into the next topics. So first, what is federalism? Federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. Take for our country. We have a central government which rules from the capital city of New Delhi. Then each states of India is also having its own state government. And also we have local self-government, which are ruling in the cities and the villages, and they are catering to the everyday need of the people. So here what is happening, that whole power to rule the country is not with one single person, or not with one single party, or not also with one form of government. The power is getting shared between different levels of government: central, state, local. In case of Belgium, we are calling as a community government. So the power should get shared, it should be divided, okay, in order to rule out the chance of majority rule, or maybe the attempt to have the whole power in the hand, the autocratic government. Okay, so basically there must be actually two levels. If there is only one level, then it is not a true federal country. At least there should be two levels. But according to the need of different country, the diversity and many other factors can lead to creation of more level than two. Like our country India is having a third level, which we are calling as local self-government. Now, I have written that two levels of government must be there, as I told you. The first is for the entire country. It looks into the national interest, maybe defense, maybe external affairs, trade with other countries. Those are the aspects that is looked after by the central government. Then state government. Take for example the state of Maharashtra. So Maharashtra is going to have its own government, which will look into the matters of Maharashtra only, not any other states. Now, when we are telling these two levels of government, these two levels of government in a true federal country will have their power independent of each other. What does that mean? When the power, for example, the state government is having, it is not given by the central government. It is guaranteed by the constitution. What does that mean? It means that the state government is not bound to listen to central government whatever it says. If it feels that central government is not doing a particular task the way it should be doing, then they can oppose, and in that case the central government cannot dismiss the state government. So let's move forward to see to get a more clear idea about how this federal government is different from other forms of government. Why a federal government is needed in modern time, how it is helpful. Let's look into that. So as you can see here, I have divided, I have shown unitary government in one side and federal government in another side. So it will give a clear picture. So in case of unitary government, there will be only one level of government. It will be maybe central government. There can be another level of government, but in that case, the subunit are subordinate to the central government. Means it will work under the central government. They have to follow all the orders that central government is giving. Whatever order and directions will be given, that will be followed, and they can put any kind of restrictions, and so state government in that case has to obey those restrictions. Basically the state government cannot function on its own. They always have to listen to the central government for its functioning. And if the central government thinks that the state government is not functioning fine, then it can also dismiss or change the person who is handling the state government. As I have already told you, the central government can pass order to the provincial or the local government, and this, as they are subordinate, so they have to follow whatever order is given by the central government. Now, so unitary government, as I have told, it is basically one level of government, but there can be different levels. But these levels are working under the central government and are in complete control of the central government. Now let's look how federal government is different from the unitary government. State government has power of its own. So as you know, in Indian constitution, it is told that certain power are given to the state government, and those cannot be taken away by the central government. It is guaranteed by our constitution. And suppose that there is certain decision which is taken by the state government, then they do not have to answer or justify why they have taken that action to the central government. They can take decisions on their own. They are not bound to follow the order of the central government. Their existence doesn't depend on the central government. Their existence is guaranteed by the constitution. So the source of power to the state government is not the central government, but the constitution itself. And if you see the third point, both this government is separately answerable to the people. So what happens, like take for case of India, there are Lok Sabha election which basically elects the central government bodies, like to the member of as member of parliament, and then they form the central government. The majority party forms the central government. Whatever actions, decisions they take, then if people like those actions, they are going to vote in the next term. If they do not like the action, then they are not going to vote in the next term. So whatever the central government is doing, they are responsible for their own action. In the same way, for state there is Vidhan Sabha election, through which the MLAs, member of legislative assemblies, are elected, and in the legislative assembly they pass laws, they take action, they whatever they are doing as part of the government, they are responsible for their action. In that case, the people of whatever the state government is doing, people are going to ask questions from the state government only. They are not going to ask those questions from the central government. So it is not like if for the action of state government, central government will be asked question. So whoever is taking whatever decision, they have to be answerable to the people of the country, because they have voted for this for the government. So as I have told you, the major difference between the unitary and federal government is that in federal government there will be levels of government in which power will be shared between the central and the state, and the existence of the state level is not dependent on the central government. Whereas in the unitary government, even if there is existence of more than one level of the government, then this second level of the government is existing because power to this government is given by the unitary government. Now let's discuss the key features of federalism. Key features means that what is truly a federal country. To get a better idea of federalism, let's see one by one. See these points one by one. The first point we have already discussed, that a federal country means there should be levels of government, vertical forms of power sharing. Each tier has its own jurisdiction in specific matters of legislation, taxation and administration. Now this word jurisdiction means the area of legal authority. So in our constitution only it is mentioned that which area is going to be governed by whom. Suppose for central government, the whole of India comes in. For a state government, the particular state will come in. Again, in constitution they have given the matters like defense is going to be looked after by central government, agriculture is going to be, education is going to be looked after by the state governments. Like that, the matters are distributed. And if the tax, that for the development of the country and for the running of the country, the tax is collected. So which source of tax is going to be taken by the state government and which source of tax is going to be taken by the central government, all these are specified in our constitution, so that there is no misunderstanding and misappropriation of power. So the legal authority of each tier of government is already defined in our constitution. And the third point is that the existence of the tier of the government, the levels of the government, like state government or the local self-government, is guaranteed in our constitution. Means it is as constitution is the supreme law book of our country. All are supposed to follow the guidelines of the constitution. So in our constitution it is given that our country is going to have levels of government, and the power each level of government is having, that is defined in the constitution. So the source of power to this government is constitution itself. Now suppose somebody wants to change that, okay, we do not want levels of the government, we will make a change in the constitution so that these levels do not exist. such kind of work cannot be done. So in a fine day, central government might want ki, okay, we are having less power because there is existence of state government, so why don't we just change the constitution and make it a unitary government? Can central government do this? Actually it cannot do. In order to change the provision of the government or provision of the constitution, consent of both the levels of government is needed. Means only when two-thirds of majority of both the levels of government are voting for it, then only it can happen. So for example, if the central government wants more power, so it will obviously want to reduce the power of the state government. So if it wants to change the constitution, do you think that state government is going to agree for this? They are not going to agree for this. So that way it guarantees that this power is shared. The power is shared in the country. As you already know that our constitution is called as the guardian. Okay, the Supreme Court is called as the guardian of our constitution. Suppose there is any kind of dispute between the two levels of the government, Supreme Court takes the position of mediator and it solves the problem. So you can see court have the power to interpret the constitution, means whatever written is in the constitution, Supreme Court can interpret the constitution. Means if there is some problem between the state and the central government, the final the verdict is given by the Supreme Court. It will tell that who is right, who is wrong, and what should be done in that situation. Sources of revenue of each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. Now, for a government to function properly, just think that they just want to build good roads. To build good roads, to get hospital, to get school, for everything they need money, which comes in the form of tax. So now, for example, if there was a situation that all the money will be collected by the central government, then the money will be distributed to the state government. In that case, what could have happened, that central government, if they do not want to cooperate with the state government, they might not distribute the money to them in a proper way. Okay, in that case, the state government cannot function properly. But to solve this particular problem, our constitution has already specified that which source of revenue is going to be taken by which form of government, so that the state government as well as the central government can function on its own to their optimum level. So to recap whatever we have done, first, there should be levels of government. Okay, the power should be shared by different levels of government. The source of this power is guaranteed by the constitution. The existence of these levels of government is guaranteed by the constitution. Next, the area in which they are going to have their authority is also defined in the constitution. If in a country there is any kind of dispute between the levels of government, Supreme Court acts as mediator. And if there is some kind of dispute, suppose central government doesn't want to share the fund, in that case, in order to solve this problem, already in our constitution, some kind of financial autonomy is given by specifying the which source of revenue is going to be utilized by which level of government. So now, why federalism is a good way to rule a country? Because see, like for India, we have lots of diversity. You know that our country is divided on the lines of language, and each major language group is having their own state. So a state government really helps to accommodate the diversity. The festivals that state is having, the language these people are speaking. Okay, so they accommodate the diversity. At the same time, we are telling that we all are Indians. So this part of our Indianness is looked after by the central government, whereas the everyday day-to-day needs are looked after by the state government. So here, what suppose there is only one central government in Delhi, they are telling that okay, all should do it like this, all should speak same language, same dress, all should wear, then people are not going to support. So in order to hear the grievances at the local level, there is state government, there is local self government, but also to unify the country, to keep the whole country together, there is central government. So this is the dual objective, two objectives. One side, it is central government is there to unify the country. At the same time, in a country like, in a diverse country like India, where so much linguistic, cultural, religious diversity is there, there is need of local levels of government which will look after the everyday need of the people. Now let's look into types of federation. So we have now covered that what is federalism, what makes a country a federal country, and how it is different from other form of government. Now we are going to look into types of federation. There are two types, coming together and holding together. What is coming together? So for example, there are very many small states which are existing nearby each other. They are existing. Now they thought that if we are existing like this individually, then there can be security issues, there can be some other problem, some bigger power can attack, all these things can happen. So what they did, they thought that okay, we will keep our autonomy, means we will have our autonomy, we will do our work, our government will have full power, the state government, but together we will be in a country like United States of America. So there are, in the beginning when the American Revolution was fought, so 13 states came together to form United States of America. All these states are having, the local state government is having full power to take all the decisions, but they are also in a federation, means the overall matter of these states is looked after by central government, but there is separate government in all these states to look after their own needs. So such kind of countries are USA, Australia, Switzerland. So the small states, they decided to come together to form a bigger country. These states are having their own power only in the overall matter like defense and other aspect. They have central government which looks into such kind of matters. Then there is another kind of federation which is holding together. What does that mean? Suppose there is a big plot of land like India. Okay, so if you see that in the beginning when India got independence, these many states are not existing. So what was done is that later on, for better governance, for better accommodation of diversity, different states are created in this the whole territory of India. So in this holding together, that in order to maintain the unity of the country, in order to accommodate the diversity, this form of federation was formed. Okay, and in such cases like in case of India, as we are formed a new country just after our independence, so obviously state government is having its own power, but central government enjoys a slight little power, slightly more power than the state government, because it was felt that in order to unify and to take it forward as a new nation, the central government should have little more power. And the last point which is there, that some units are granted special power. As you know that Article 370 okay, gave Kashmir a special status in India, like they can have their own flag, they can have their own constitution, but in 2019 this special status was taken away. So in a holding together federation, what happens that obviously the power is shared, but the central government can have slightly little more power than the state government, and certain units can have special power, but it is not compulsory that what was given in the beginning that should be kept there. Like as I told you, in case of Kashmir, for integration of Kashmir in India it was given, but then in 2019 it was felt that it was not needed, so it was removed. Article 370 was taken away. So in our today's class, we have discussed in great detail about what is federalism, what are the main key characteristics, feature of federalism, and why a country should opt for federalism, and what are the types of federalism. So in this, I hope that you have understood the class. Have a good day.